we now look all set. And they're off and racing. The one who dwelt out of the gates was Ascents. That's the early back marker. Be Fair allowed to drift back as well from that low draw. But away well, last year's winner Devices comes through on the outside. Mr. Bosun staying wide, but nice and handy. Close behind those, both Fravanco and Mrs. Twig, who's got her grey head into third place, just ahead of Fravanco as they head to the first bend. Beau Vintage is next, Red Royalist keeping that one company. Ascents has improved from the rear now, sits on the outside of Be Fair, and with that one as well, Nivelle's Magic. Big Jimbo is slightly further back. Churchill Rose, one of those towards the rear as well. Aliowski sits right at the back end of the field as Devices takes the field now along into the back straight. So Devices, who won this race 12 months ago at 33-1, is the leader. Our back marker is Cloudy Rose. Devices in front from Mr. Bosun in second place. Mrs. Twig is in third. Ascents, after that slow start, now in a very good position. Sits in fourth place, just ahead of Fravanco and Red Royalist. And then the red cap of Beau Vintage sitting in the middle of the field. That one just ahead of Be Fair. After Be Fair races Churchill Rose on the inside. Nivelle's Magic still held up in front of Big Jimbo. And the two at the back end of the field, Cloudy Rose. And Aliowski is still towards the back as well. Devices attempting to make all of the running. Devices with Mr. Bosun still not far away. Followed in third by Mrs. Twig, Ascents, and still traveling strongly as Fravanco. Pink and white colors to watch out for. Red Royalist next. And then Beau Vintage turning in company with Nivelle's Magic and Be Fair. Further back is Churchill Rose. On the wide outside is Cloudy Rose, struggling a bit now. Big Jimbo's being pushed along. Aliowski's got loads of work to do. Devices trying to fend them all off. Mrs. Twig, though, coming with a dangerous run, and so too down the outside is Beau Vintage. These three have opened up on the rest of them. Far side, Mrs. Twig. This side, Beau Vintage. Fading his Devices, booked for third place. Mrs. Twig, the grey, out in front. Mrs. Twig beats Beau Vintage and Devices. These three were comfortably clear.
Mrs. Twig breaks her maiden tag for the bang-in form William Muir and Chris Grassick team. And I think that's the third win from 4 runners. And this filly's beaten Beau Vintage in second.